And you're listening to Binjang 91.5, and it's time for Tech Talk with Matthew Dickerson. Good morning, Matthew.
Yeah, good morning, Tony. Hope you're nice and refreshed after a day off yesterday and ready to do Tech Talk a day later this week.
Yes, well, it's been certainly hot, and, you know, I've got a topic now that will really cover this area, the great discomfort of our heat wave that we get every year. So how do I combine my hydration needs with some smart technology, do you reckon?
Well, there does seem to be a number of different ways that people come out with different water bottles and different features on water bottles. I love the ingenuity that people demonstrate. And so this particular one, they call it a 3-in-1 smart stainless steel water bottle. The first thing it does, believe it or not, it keeps your water cold for 24 hours and your water hot for 12 hours. So it does its first job quite well in keeping your water insulated from the outside world. It's a double-walled, vacuum-insulated water bottle. So that sounds fantastic. But from a technology perspective, it's also got a Bluetooth speaker built into the base of it, and you can hardly notice it. When you look at the size of it, it looks just like a normal water bottle. So they've been very clever in the way they've actually fitted into a Bluetooth speaker in the bottom of it. So you can be out going for a run, you want to take a bit of a break, you sit your water bottle down somewhere, and basically you start listening to a few tunes. But just for a bit of icing on the cake, it's also got a light show. So when you sit the water bottle down, turn on your music to listen to it, you can actually have a light show coming out of it as well. And so it's quite incredible, I think, what they can fit into a modern water bottle. Obviously, electronics are very small. They've been getting smaller for many years, but batteries are getting better all the time as well. So the ability for this water bottle to fit the electronics in and the battery in and still sound like a reasonable speaker, I think is quite incredible. So if you want a 3-in-1 water bottle, keep you cool on these hot days, and this is the way to go.
Well, it's always nice to know. I'm just being inundated by technology.
That's right.
And hydrated at the same time. Now, smart grocery carts, should I say, are they going to change the way we shop? Do you think they really will?
I think they will, and I actually think it'll be a bit uncomfortable when you first start shopping with them. I find it very strange, Tony, walking around a supermarket, putting things into my trolley, and then not going through some form of checkout when I leave. A couple of years ago, Amazon Go tried the concept, and they basically fitted out an entire store to show off the technology that was available. And as you put things in your shopping trolley, there are a variety of cameras and scanners around, and they automatically tallied up what was in your trolley so that when you got to the end, you could just simply pay what was in your trolley and you walked out the door. Well, there's a company in America called Kroger, and they work with a startup called Caper to create not a smart shopping supermarket, but a smart shopping cart. So the cart itself is what does all the work. As you pick up items off the shelf and you put them in your shopping cart, it automatically scans those. If they needed to be weighed, so for example, some fruit and vegetables that might need to be weighed, you've actually got mini scales on the shopping cart itself, so you can put them on the scales, put them in the shopping trolley. You've already put your card details, your credit card or your bank card details in the shopping trolley itself. So when you get to the end, you simply pick up the items and walk out the door. And again, I'd feel a bit uncomfortable, Tony. I'll be looking around waiting for a security guard to tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hello, Mr. Dickerson, you've taken some items there." But this is the way the future will work. We've gotten to the point where we've obviously got self-checkout when you go through many supermarkets now. I think this will be the next step. It's again happening in trial basis in America. I think it'll be a couple of years before we see it here, but I think we'll definitely see it here.
Yeah, well, they've been talking about it for a long time. I think it's going to happen whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I'm sure most supermarkets will still have some traditional checkouts for people that prefer to go that way. But in the scenario of most people have adapted to the self-checkout. I think many people will adapt to the self-checkout shopping cart as well.
Yeah, I guess it would be more convenient, and it should also deliver cheaper goods as well, because it'll cheapen, it'll take a lot of the labour out of supermarket shopping. Won't be very good for jobs, I suppose, but at least there will be some advances in technology saving people a little bit of money in the hip pocket.
I like the way you're thinking. I dare say it'll just increase the profits of the company doing it, but I like the way you're thinking, Tony.
Yeah. Now, when we look at how we pay things, we've got we've had magnetic strips on cards, then there was chips and tap and go. So how about watches? Are they able to be used for purchases? And look, I suppose it really transpires from using, payment methods using a phone, doesn't it? Transferring it to a watch.
Yeah, so watches have been available for a little while now to make purchases, but the next step after watches is now going to be your face. Just when people thought it was getting a bit advanced, being able to tap your card or swipe your phone or even use your watch, in some places around the world already they're trialling the concept of using your face to make purchases. Now, you've got to register your face and your banking details with companies that support this, and you've got to go into a retailer that actually supports the face payment concept. But there are companies around the world that are doing that right now, and you can go and pay for certain things. It's happening in China, it's happening in small pockets in America. It's probably a few years away before it comes to Australia, but it is actually happening. And when you start to think about it, the convenience factor's there and the safety factor's there. If you think about a credit card that you use for tap and go, for example, you've only got to leave your credit card behind somewhere or lose your credit card. People can pick that up and they can go crazy on your card and tap for lots of small purchases, again, until you ring your bank and say that you want a block put on your card. If you've got something that you use, a car, for example, and you put in a PIN, then people can look over your shoulder and watch that PIN. But it's very hard for someone to steal your face. Now, you see in the movies where you might have a photograph of a face that someone puts up before something to make a purchase. Of course, I think the retailer might be a little bit suspicious if that happens, but the actual scanners are much better now, Tony. They do a 3D scan of your face. And I know in things like Mission Impossible, they do a 3D scan of someone's face and then create a mask that's then used to get into various places. And I really think if someone's going to go to the trouble of making a 3D mask of my face, Tony, so they can get a free coffee, then good luck to them, I reckon.
Well, it sounds a little bit like it's one step closer to the Chinese system, doesn't it? We'll have all these people, government and businesses recognising people by face, and sooner or later they'll put it all together and use it for other purposes that you didn't really intend in the first place. I think that would be the biggest problem with this, that it's the privacy thing. There will be a lot of pushback on something like this, but it's probably inevitable, though, I'd have to say.
Yeah, it's certainly the technology is moving that way, and your face can be used for a whole range of things already. So payment for things, it's the next logical step. There are some valid concerns, as you've pointed out already, and the companies that you'd be dealing with, you'd want to have some confidence in them being able to use your data in the correct way and not having your face kept on file unnecessarily.
Yeah. Very interesting, Matthew. You've been listening to Matthew Dickerson with Tech Talk on Binjang 91.5. Stick around later on this afternoon and we'll have another session. And in the meantime, it's back to all the great music and information on Binjang.
Great, Tony. We'll chat this afternoon.
Very good, Matthew. Thanks.